Goddess. Welcome back to the Hello Goddess podcast. I am your host, Mandy de Grace. I am a Reiki practitioner, a wellness lover, and a spiritual seeker. I'm so happy to be back here with you, my beautiful goddess. I am sitting right now with a Starbucks coffee and I just want to relax with you, and hopefully you will learn something new or something in this episode will resonate with you. So I'm going to be completely transparent and honest with you right now. Originally, this episode was supposed to be about New Year's resolutions. I know I'm kind of late. I think it's the 11th of January today. And the reason that I took so long is because I was suffering from procrastination. And the crazy thing about it is every time I would talk about this current episode, to like my mom or my friends, I would be like, yeah, I'm going to make an episode about procrastination. I mean New Year's resolutions. So I'm starting to believe that my higher self or my subconscious or whatever you want to call it wanted me to make an episode about procrastination. So before we begin, I just wanted to talk a little bit about my personal experience with procrastination. So when I look back at my life, I noticed a pattern in my life. I am a perfectionist, whether that be schoolwork or showing up with my friends or being the perfect girlfriend. I would always try to become perfect, to do things perfectly. And the issue here is perfection in and of itself does not exist. Perfection itself does not exist. That doesn't mean that we shouldn't try to do our best in every area of our lives. Of course, we should try to do our best. But trying to reach perfection can give us a lot of anxiety and stress because it can never be reached, and it doesn't leave much room for error and for being human. So what happens when you do make a mistake, which is inevitable? That is when everything comes crashing down because you don't allow yourself to be human. You're not allowing yourself to make mistakes. So when you do make a mistake, everything is horrible. You think people are going to leave you. You're a horrible person. You just beat yourself up so hard, and that is the life of a perfectionist. Now here is where it ties into procrastination. So if you have something that you want to accomplish or something that you want to create in your life, if you are a perfectionist, you are going to procrastinate because it's just too much pressure. You're putting too much pressure on yourself to perform perfectly in whatever task or creative endeavor. I'll give you an example from my own life. I have been wanting to make videos, make a podcast for years, okay? I think the first time I tried to make a video on YouTube, I was 19 and I'm 28. The reason it took so long for me to actually do what I wanted to do is because I'm a perfectionist and because I was afraid of not being good enough. I was afraid of what people might think of me. I was afraid of failing. I was afraid of creating something that wasn't worthy. I was afraid of change. And all of these fears caused me to procrastinate for years on something that I really, really wanted to do. Now, if you recognize yourself in this story, don't worry, I'm here for you, and I will explain to you what I did personally and a few tips and tricks that I learned along the way to beat procrastination and to beat perfectionism. So whatever you're trying to take on in life, the first thing you have to ask yourself is why? Why are you doing what you're doing? Why is it that you want this so bad? The reason that finding your why is so important is because your why needs to be bigger than your fears. Obviously, when we start something new, it's kind of scary because we haven't had that experience yet. But if you focus on your why, on the reason why you're doing it, and if that comes from the heart or it comes from an act of service, then that will overpower the fears that you may have that are really not that important. For example, I like to create a lot of content on wellness and spirituality, and obviously putting myself out there is scary, and I know that people may judge me, but The reason I do what I do, my why, is so big. Like, I really want to help people, and that overpowers any fear I may have. So yeah, if you're facing procrastination, definitely take the time to figure out why you're doing what you're doing and if it's even worth doing. Once you do find your why, once you do find the reason you want to do this, you will find the motivation within yourself. You'll feel more energized, you'll feel more focused, and it will just be better all around. But you may be still struggling with perfectionism, and if you are, use this affirmation: done is better than perfect. Done is better than perfect. You're better off finishing the project and it being good to great instead of trying to reach perfection and never actually reaching it. Like I said earlier, perfection is not a realistic goal. So if your procrastination is caused by perfectionism, remember, start with why. Remember your why. Why are you doing this? What is motivating you? And remember that done is better than perfect. Okay, so we talked about perfectionism, but what about the other causes of procrastination? One really common one is, oh, this is going to take too long. I don't really want to start this because it's going to take too long. A good example of that would be like having a fitness goal that is very far away from where you are right now. So you might start procrastinating on working out or eating healthy because you feel like the goal is so far away you can't really achieve it, so why even try, right? Another example is if your house is in a mess. If your house is in a total mess and you want to start cleaning it, but all you can think of is how long it's going to take. So you just discourage yourself and you sit down and you watch Netflix instead. We tend to procrastinate when we don't have immediate results. From day to day, you can't really see a difference, so it can get a little bit discouraging. But I have a metaphor that I heard Will Smith say, and it was totally life-changing for me. When you're tackling a huge project or something that you know will take a lot of time, you need to visualize your goal as a brick house. And when you're working on that goal, you're going to be focusing on each brick, one brick at a time. Don't focus on what you did. Don't focus on what's to come. Just focus on the brick that you are holding in your hands. Continuous small changes lead to big change. Remember this. And that goes for everything, any habit that you may have or things that you want to improve in your life. Focus on small changes and you'll see that you won't struggle with procrastination as much. Okay, so let's talk about another cause of procrastination, which is fear of failure. So fear of failure is a very common human experience, and it doesn't only cause procrastination, it also causes avoidance sometimes. So basically, we may have dreams and goals and aspirations, but sometimes we are so afraid of failure that we don't even start. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. I personally don't believe that it's possible to become successful without failing. In fact, I don't actually believe that failing is a bad thing. I think failing is a good thing that gives us a lot of information on what is not working in our lives. One of my favorite quotes goes like this: failure is simply the opportunity to begin again, this time more intelligently. Also, this is kind of funny to say out loud, but you have to give yourself permission to suck. It's okay if you don't get it right the first time, the second time, or even the third time. Think about babies when they learn how to walk. They fall all the time. Could you imagine if they gave up after one try? Nobody on the earth would be walking right now. I know it's scary to start something new and you know you don't have the experience or the skills yet. But remember that things take practice, things take time, and be patient with yourself. Another cause of procrastination that people don't talk about a lot is the fear of success. Now you may be thinking, what are you talking about, Mandy? I want to be successful. Why would I be afraid of success? Just hear me out for a sec. So the human mind is wired for stability and comfort and security, and When we become successful, a lot of the things in our external reality change. So it can really bring us out of our comfort zone. Even though we really want to be successful, part of us is comfortable in where we are right now. So maybe you have this big dream for your life, but on a subconscious level, you are afraid of that success because it would mean that everything in your reality will change. So, what ends up happening is that you start self sabotaging that goal through procrastination or through excuses. I'm not smart enough, I'm not beautiful enough, I'm too young, I'm too old, I don't have the money. Sounds familiar? So, yeah, of course, the fear of success is a real thing. But do you know what is worse than the fear of success? Regret. So, if you have a goal, if you have a dream, my dear, go for it. Do it. Do the damn thing. Because if you don't, you're going to regret it. And that is the worst feeling in the world because we can't turn back time. So, yes, know your why. Why are you doing what you're doing? Be patient. Things take time. Be open to failing. Failing is a good thing. And sure, as you reach your goals and as you become more successful and do the damn thing, things will change outside of yourself, but it might be a good thing. So if you're suffering from procrastination right now, let me give you one last mantra. And this is my favorite one by far. In the spirit of Nike, just do it. So that is it for this episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this was helpful and you learned something new. I'm wishing you a good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, sending you all of the love, all of the light, and the Reiki energy.